So today I will focus more on finishing the Docker containers in Terraform for WordPress. So as you already know, in my last part, I was working on deploying the WordPress container. So I think my Google script was failed, so I probably want to reinstall that. So meanwhile, we can try to reinstall that and working on the specifying the specification of the Docker containers in Terraform. So in my previous section, I was working on Terraform for the mask, and I have to use the script here. I think the use script was failed due to the fact that I'm trying to add this Dockers and add the group, add the user to the Docker group and things like that. So if I access to that to this machine and run this one, I think it will be just fine. Just they set that in those file directory, so cannot expect much from here. Okay, so I think the first and the last command will not be necessary. The command I could just use is add the user to the group. So in order to reapply this one, let me just go to the master view Terraform, go to OpenStack, let's go to WordPress and go to the first one. Make sure you log into AWS and then have the credential running. Have your credential ready. So in this case, what I would do is just run the plan. I think I just remove the state of this KVM first. So what it does is that if I plan this again, you can turn it or you can remove it. Either way, it will be just fine. I would prefer to use 10, but I will use this one accidentally. So okay, so what I can do is to release this machine. So this one, right? So if you list it by tag, you can list by the virtual here. So you can see that there are two virtual machines. Now I can just plan and run it again. It will installing for us we deploy the machine for us using from Terraform, right? Okay, so now it's allocated, and then after that you will see that it will deploy Ubuntu. Yeah, so while we are waiting for this one to be running, okay, with the data and everything, what I would do is just go back here really quick and update this Docker containers. So what I'm trying to do now is to use the Docker secret. So we go together, but I actually don't really focus on the secret right now. I'm focused more on the environment variable. So we'll see that there are text by here, text back here. Okay, let me just commit the code first. So I can just paste this here and then changing some of them. For example, like the image and endpoint can be changed. For example, like image here, you can just put in the image ID here. Or maybe not, I can just put in the name and then that's pretty much it. But here probably you don't need that. I think we don't need the less parameter, the more simple, right? Okay, Docker service and Docker container are two different things. I don't know. I would just start with Docker service. So Docker service actually related to container spec, I think. So they have the image here, and they have the endpoint spec, and then when you create the service, you can see that they try to run some. You can put into configuration here as well, and then you can mount the volume as necessary. For me, I don't think it's necessary to have the whole Docker service thing. I focus more on the container size. Yeah, so you have to limit resource, the secret to be mounted to a file. You can configure DNS and the host and everything and so on. I think that is a whole list of it. So here you can manage the container the same way. Okay, you can have the volumes. You know, have the. For me, I will just try to have at least one container going up. So maybe you can try to define how many CPU you want. But I don't think I need to care about CPU yet, because it's a small container and we don't really want to make it too complex. So I think I'm focused more on the env, to be honest. Env is where I want to have it done. So we go step by step first, right? So the first step we want to have is basically I want to have ability to run this container up. So I think the env is more important for me. So it's just a key value pair. So I think the setup string. Okay. For this setup string, I would just define a variable. This variable will be env here, and it will be a key value pair, right? So key value pair, key value pair. So I have a list of key value pair here, as you will see. So just to make some format working first. So the user is root the password. I don't know about the password yet. I think we could just use password 1234. For all the thing, I will just leave it by default. I don't really care about the rest. Maybe I keep it here for now. For the alt key, I'm not sure. I can try to use some password. Maybe right now I can just use root 134. Okay. Same with this other guy. Okay. So I think the most important thing is probably just database host and so on. So I think if I have them in the same network, then it will be just fine. But for this one, I can just for loop through each of them. Maybe just make something like MySQL, you know. Equal to this list, okay. So what it does is very simple, right? You can try to look through all of them. You know, for in browser band and then the service name. So I will just say this service name is browser service name, and then you have the container here basically, and then you are constructing a string, right? So a string with the structure with key equal value. That's pretty much it, I would say. Other than that, I don't think anything else we need to focus on. We are looking for more simple stuff. We are looking for maybe the memory is fine, the mouse it's fine. The network probably. So the network is a string. I'm thinking about having some food right now. I'm kind of hungry, but because in the afternoon I already eat enough food, so I'm going to fasting. So probably no food required for the moment. Anyways, let me just take a look on the network mode. I think I don't know. I think we can export everything to the host. Otherwise, we can use a port. Is fine. I think. Let me just take a look on this one. Okay. So we can see that I'm trying to use this network name, and in this network advanced, you can have the name of it. So you can use Docker dot network dot, and then this private network is all about you can just get the name of it. So I don't care about alias, to be honest. For now, we don't want to make the Docker Compose too complex. So we have the port, obviously, the port of it. I think the port will be internal and external, right? We can have multiple of them. Yeah, so external is 80. The default will be yeah, that's fine. The rest is fine. I don't really care about the old stuff yet. Maybe I care about the labels. And I'm not sure about privilege mode. I can try to have it in case I want to have the volume to be written in. The rest I think is not necessary. So most of them below here, you are just trying to make it a bit complex. So I think that's pretty much it for the WordPress containers. I don't think of anything else that we need to think about. So as long as this is ready, we can move on. Just quit this one. So next thing is the MySQL, I think. So here you see there's a MySQL. We actually want to have a list of volume. So for the volume, we actually want to mount it to the HTML somewhere. I will talk about the volume before. Actually, you know what? Let's just working on the volumes anyways. Yeah, let me just continue working on the second part of this guy. So we are talking about MySQL as well, right? So MySQL. Is will be simple enough. Okay, so I can just go to MySQL. Okay. So in the readme, I will just add one more thing. Okay, so sorry guys. Just back from. Let me just moving on. I'm not sure why my computer getting hot and the battery life is. I'm not sure about the battery. Battery is being consumed really quickly. So let's go to MySQL Docker. So for MySQL, okay. So here's the things, right? We have multiple environment. We have multiple different parts we need to define. And we have multiple okay, so I think this is dynamic. For those are static, I will put it below it. So most of them, like image, name and things so on, can be put into one place. So env can be separate. The only thing can be shared is the part. So the first container, as you will know, obviously the WordPress. I don't care about service name yet. I care more about the image. Project name. I think the project name is more appropriate in this term. So here you can have the project name. And then you have the image. And then you have the part to export. So I will just make it simple. For example, I export AT80. And then after the other part, you have the image ID. Okay, so I know there's a image. There's environment variable, and that's pretty much it. So what I can do is look through all of these containers, right? So you have h.value.image, and that's it. Same for this guy below it. So I have the image here, and I need to get a key out. And for the part, dynamic part, a dynamic block So we have the dynamic part here, and we have something called the content. So now it's for each part. So for each is basically distinctive, comparing different. It's about creating a loop through for this block, right? So for the block, I think I can just for loop through each of the for for port paired in each the value dot port, and you have key, right? The key is definitely the port pair. Now we can create an eternal, and you can split string key. I think it's just mental code split function. So what it do is you put in the split, and then right, so eternal will be the second one actually. Yeah, so for this one you already know that eternal second one. So now you can have the port, maybe just port dot value dot eternal, and that's pretty much it. You can see that is that simple. For network name, we just make it default like that. I would just say this is the default network, and this is default. So the next thing, obviously, so next thing I want to have is MySQL. The problem with working at night, I feel like it's like you are a bit isolated with the world. So most of the time I staying at home and not really talk with anyone. I think that's not a problem, right? Sometimes the problem is with myself, whether I feel like it's comfortable or not. Okay, for MySQL, I still use the latest one, by the way. I think for the port and the environment variable, I actually thinking about using Nginx as well, And it could be a way to make this thing a bit more comfortable to use. Yeah. So anyways, I think what I can do is you can have a command here. So what I use is just use sample from this guy, and you have all the environment possible environment variable. So for example, like here you have the MySQL, and then we have to keep loop here as always. So you already know that the database will be I know so this is specific designing for the I'm not sure about this one. I could create locals and then adding an extra layer of environment variable, it will make everything a bit easier for us to maintain all of this. So we can just edit in one place and then why people nowadays feel so sad about life? What is the problem with people right now? I mean, there must be a reason, right? I'm not complaining about the world today. I'm more focusing on why people are kind of, self-destruct themselves. I mean, even here, I'm sitting here. I still thinking about what could be better for our work tomorrow. You have to think about what can you do better as always. So I don't really think about whether we are good or bad or anything like that. It's very hard to say, to be honest. Very difficult to say about that. So anyways, we have the things running here. If I access to it, The problem with women right now, when they're 20. Yeah, so that's one thing I have been thinking about a lot of time. I just realized that the user should be the password should be auto generated. It should not be in here. So what we can do is just disable it for now, and we can just think about the auto user. So to keep things simple, the MySQL user, MySQL password, all of those things will be defined somewhere else. So I think I can just create a local file here, and I define those kind of things here. So what I will do is just for them in for MV. So what I would do to make this thing simple, I know there will be a must for sure, but it depends on the stack. So if it WordPress, let me do something like this. So we have something like this. Let me sorry guys, let's me pause maybe. I have a call, sorry about that. So I don't think of another option for this because this is only one new case. If I actually want to make it um you know what I can try is let me think about it for a second. So I'm still thinking about the solution for this. um Either way I separate it out, because if I create two different objects, then probably I can have a share variable, then it would be easier for us. Otherwise I have to map it somehow, map from this guy to this guy somehow. I have the password to be shared for both of them. So yeah, so one thing we can try is keeping the template like this, but for every variable is something we cannot make it simple, right? So ENV, I think the service has a bit more simplified ENV solution. But let's talk about that in a second later. I think we don't want to use Docker service right now. We want to keep things simple. So here is a way I'm actually trying to get this working. So this thing ENV, yeah, I think I will create something like this. So for the first thing, for example, like the WordPress, just WordPress equal to first, and then you have the env, right? So what it does, for WordPress we have the database host, database user, and password. Those are common variable which we can use where most of them are common actually. So they are all random password and things like that. So for in this case, I think we can use You know, most of the case when I meet the wrong people, I don't really want to talk with them for too long. It's just because I don't think it's necessary to talk too much. Because it just doesn't have any meaning to do that, right? So you can think of that. Okay, so I have to database for every variable here. Otherwise, I don't think there's any time I can put in here. So I think the locals is fine. I don't think there's anything else I want to add. This local will be used in here. And as you may already know, let me just comment this code first. So I think that's this good enough. I don't want to add anything additional information for now. I think they contain all the necessary things that I want to add. For the port and the volume is something else I want to add as well. So you may already know we have the port. Is there a way to store the secret? No. The secret can be encrypted and decrypted at the same time using SOP, and then I can use my credential to store the secret there. I think that is actually a good idea to store secret encrypted in the repository, and you only want to decrypt it when you need to decrypt it. So I don't know, man. I think it's just a way to do this, right? So before I deploy to Terraform, I can just decrypt secret, load it to a file, and then push it to Docker secret here. So what it does is basically I'm trying to store a secret for this guy. Secret file will be something like this, and then if we mount to Docker secret, so it's actually there's a template for to do that. So I thinking about this for a long time. I can try this later, but for now I think this is good enough. There's one thing you guys probably know that I'm missing is the variable. So all the things defined here should be defined in the variable file as well. This is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so containers, type will be a map of object, image will become a string, part will be a list of string, and you have command line optional string as well. Otherwise I think the rest is fine. Now we can think of not sure why it's really hot. My computer is really hot. Possibly because of the recording program. Sometimes when you think about someone, you would think that it could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? No, I actually thinking about playing video games in free time, so it can chewing my head out. Sometimes you need some balance in your life, so you always need something to balance yourself out. I feel really sad when I waking up and see the night sunlight went off. You know. So I think this is good enough. What I can do now is just try and run the plan and then see how it's go. I still have some work to do on side. So let's see how it's go. Okay, this var n is in here, I think. Okay, it could be cool. use objects require. Okay, that makes sense, right? Because we need yeah, what the fuck? This I actually okay. This wrong. Okay, this should be masked. Press. I think we are mistaking it. Well, I think okay, so it's my fault to be honest. I think I'm using this transform state wrong. Okay. Okay, so what I can try to do is copy this state file to a new state file. So here you can see that the current version is from this guy. Okay, this is my bad actually. To the same bucket, but now it should be WordPress mask state. Okay, so now I can use WordPress mask. Run plan again. So one thing I can do is manually delete this guy. Actually, I will not eat anything tonight because I already have enough food. So now let me just re-adding it with new state log, and yeah, so I think we have to wait for this to come alive. So we have two different versions: WordPress mass TF state and Docker TF state in the same repo. So one thing I'm not sure if I can try to do it now or not, but we can try to see. We can try to see if we have a chance ability to. Let me see. Okay, I think we should work on the volume now, right? Because the volume is something we are missing. So we have the port and the volumes and so on. And we still have lesson script to be yeah. So let's talk about the volume. So for volume, one thing I think we can do is define an additional okay. So the first volume is obviously the others, which is one. And for the WordPress, I think we can use different one. So this is HTML. The volume is not very strict in terms of yeah. Same thing. We have a lead key value pair for the volumes for h equal to h dot volume dot.
Chỉ nhận lỗi của các cặp vợ chồng.
For the volume, for the content of the volumes, we are caring about the volume names. I think just dot key is enough. And we have the go to the back. Then you have something called yeah, I cannot discover this. I think that's it. thinking about food right now. Kind of hungry. But so that's the last thing I want to add here is a lesson script. I was thinking about using CloudFront. I think CloudFront is a good way to actually I'm thinking about Nginx and then now and then I'm thinking about yeah, so Nginx is actually a good way, right? Nginx and Let's Encrypt. I'm not sure if I can use this guy sample here. I do curious about that, to be honest. I mean, as long as it work, right, then we can just test it out. Okay, guys, you know what? Let me plug my machine into the monitor, and then we can continue on. I will do a part 3 on this. Part 2. Yeah.